Keir Starmer has done nothing to distinguish himself in terms of Russian-UK relations. At the same time, however, there are many questions as to whether things will be better after he leaves.
Russia's first reaction to Starmer's dramatic exit is blunt, with the Kremlin signaling it expects no real change in Britain's line. The Kremlin claims Starmer leaves office having kept UK-Russia relations at a zero-level footing, in one of Moscow's sharpest assessments yet. Moscow is pouring cold water on hopes of any post-Starmer reset, saying a new Labour leader is unlikely to soften Britain's stance toward Russia. UK policy on Russia is unlikely to soften even after Starmer's departure, according to Kremlin spokesman Dmitri Peskov.
Keir Starmer has done nothing to distinguish himself in terms of Russian-UK relations. He has always been a supporter of keeping these ties at rock-bottom level, which is exactly what we are witnessing now. He will therefore not be remembered by us for anything remarkable during his tenure. At the same time, however, there are many questions as to whether things will be better after he leaves. It is unlikely that anyone in the UK political establishment will now hold a position on our bilateral relations that differs from that of Keir Starmer.
As Keir Starmer steps down as Prime Minister, attention swings sharply to Labour's succession battle, with the party's internal contest now doubling as Britain's next PM race. On June 22, Keir Starmer resigned as UK Prime Minister, formally setting Labour's succession process in motion and triggering the timetable to choose his replacement. The outgoing leader has signalled that a new Prime Minister could be in place by September, promising an orderly handover before Parliament fully returns from its summer break.
The question being asked now is not who was best placed to change the Labour Party, to take us into power and to begin the vital work of improving lives for millions of people. Those questions have been answered. The question my party is asking now is whether I am best placed to lead us into the next general election. I have heard the answer of my parliamentary party to that question, and I accept that answer with good grace. Every decision I've taken has been about putting the country I love first. That is why I will resign as leader of the Labour Party. I have spoken to His Majesty the King this morning to inform him of my decision. I will ask the National Executive Committee of the Labour Party to set out a timetable with nominations opening on the 9th of July and completed by the summer recess. In the case of a contest, this will ensure a new leader is in place before Parliament returns in September. I will remain in post as Prime Minister until the contest is complete, and I will do everything I can to ensure an orderly handover of power. I will also give my successor my full and unequivocal support, knowing that they will inherit a Britain that is far stronger and fairer than the one I inherited 2 years ago, better prepared for the challenges ahead, and better able to ensure the Labour Party secures a second term in office. I want to thank all of those friends and colleagues who have been at my side for these past 6 years or so, for their incredible commitment, service and support. I want to thank the brilliant Number 10 staff and our country's extraordinary civil service who dedicate their lives to public service. And when I leave the biggest job in the country, I shall spend more time on the most important job, being the best husband I can to my fantastic wife Vic, who has been a rock by my side through good times and bad, and being the best dad I can to my beautiful children, who are my pride and my joy. Thank you very much.
If no challenger comes forward against him, Andy Burnham could be sworn in as Prime Minister around July 17th, slipping into office while the Commons is in its summer recess. If there is a full contest, voting would run through the summer months, with a new Prime Minister expected to take office by late August once members have had their say. Starmer argues this schedule will ensure a clear successor is in post before the Commons returns on September 1st, avoiding a leadership vacuum when MPs come back. Strikingly, whoever wins Labour's leadership will become Britain's 7th Prime Minister in 10 years, underlining just how volatile the country's politics have become. Let's take a closer look at the two main contenders now poised to become the UK's next Prime Minister, and what each would mean for Labour and the country. Andy Burnham, the former Manchester mayor and newly elected MP for Makerfield, brings both regional clout and fresh Commons credentials into the race. He has formally confirmed his bid to replace Keir Starmer, making clear he wants to move from the backbench straight into the top job. Burnham is widely seen as the frontrunner in the race, with early backing suggesting he could secure a commanding lead among Labour MPs. His emerging campaign message centers on economic growth and political stability, promising calm leadership after years of churn at the top. Burnham enjoys strong popularity among Labour members and many MPs, who see him as a unifying figure able to bridge party factions. Supporters also argue he can cut into Reform UK's appeal, presenting him as someone who speaks to disillusioned voters beyond Labour's core base. He previously held cabinet roles under past Labour governments, giving him frontline experience of national decision-making and Whitehall machinery. If no serious rival emerges, Burnham could walk into number 10 by mid-July, turning his leadership bid into one of the fastest ascents in recent history. Wes Streeting, a former health secretary and senior Labour figure, brings cabinet-level experience and a sharp public profile into any leadership conversation. He is known as a centrist modernizer, often pitching himself as a bridge between Labour's traditional base and voters worried about economic credibility. Streeting had previously prepared to challenge Starmer himself, signaling long-standing leadership ambitions and a willingness to run at the very top. Reports suggest he had secured enough MP nominations to mount a serious campaign, proving significant support across Labour's parliamentary ranks. He presented himself as fiscally cautious and tough on spending promises, aiming to reassure markets and swing voters about Labour's economic plans. Streeting has been widely viewed as Burnham's strongest potential rival, the one candidate who could have forced a full-blown leadership contest. Yet he later decided to endorse Burnham instead of running, a move that reshaped the race and signaled a push for unity over open competition. His backing has boosted hopes of avoiding a bruising contest, making it more likely that Labour can manage a swift, uncontested transition in power. Other senior Labour politicians may still weigh late bids if the rules allow and the numbers stack up, keeping a small window open for surprise challengers. Crucially, any would-be leader must first secure public backing from at least 20% of Labour MPs in the Commons to even make the ballot. Candidates then need extra nominations from local party branches or affiliated unions, a test of both grassroots reach and organisational strength. If more than one contender qualifies, Labour members and affiliates rank them by preference in a ballot, turning the race into a full party-wide vote. Votes are redistributed until one candidate passes 50%, and that winner is then presented to the King as the next Prime Minister.